Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey, good evening, Facebook family. Welcome to another episode of Post Daily Dose with me, your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guide and servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Bryan+Post. Hope everyone has had a fantastic Thursday. I am coming to you from Eureka, California. Traveled yesterday. That's why you didn't see me, because I was in the airport. I was going to go on early, but I couldn't find a good spot. And then the day before, I was actually gonna do my Facebook Live from a different location, but then when I got to the location, I forgot, because my short-term memory is not as good as it used to be. And then I actually ended up going to a movie. I went and saw the movie called Loose. And if you have a chance, it's very interesting. So I thought I'd talk about it. I was either going to talk about Loose or I was going to talk about teens and trauma, but I think I've talked about that before, and I want to do that again just because I had an interesting little interaction with an 18-year-old who's gone through a lot of trauma today, and so I'll probably talk about that maybe tomorrow. But I went and saw this movie, Loose. Hey, it's Stefan from the Netherlands, and it's basically, the premise is a black young man adopted by a white family. And he was adopted by them from Altria, and I'm assuming maybe that's an African country, because the background of it, his background was supposedly coming from, a war-torn area and a lot of neglect. And so he's adopted by this white family, and then he has this black school teacher named Octavia Spencer, and you guys know she's doing a lot of movies right now. But Octavia Spencer is the school teacher. And then there's the setting of the school. So it's like the movie centers around the mom and dad, this young black boy, and this teacher. And it's so I'm always a little sensitive to movies about adoptees anyway, because I feel like for entertainment we always perpetuate the bad seed myth. We always perpetuate the adopted child has issues which causes them to be delinquent. And the truth is, every child goes through the same issues. It's that adoptees are more sensitive to stress and may be a little bit more prone towards challenges in certain situations. But it's not, it's not just adopted children. It's all children. We all struggle. And so this young man was at the top of his class. He had really excelled. He was giving speeches at school. But then he had started to have these interactions with this black school teacher. And it was interesting because the way they positioned her, even though Octavia Spencer's black, they positioned her rhetoric and her perceptions of this young man as though it was coming from an older white female. So very, very suspicious, very paranoid, and then taking liberties with his, his civil rights, as far as, going into his locker without permission and taking things, and then calling his parents in and saying, we may have a problem. And so it became this very interesting dynamic, because it was interesting to watch her accuse him, but at the same time speak to him as though she were trying to shape and mold him. And it's a real dichotomy. It's an inauthentic message. And then there's this one scene where the parents are called in, he's called in, the teacher's called in, and the teacher asks the mom something very specific, and the mom lies about it. And then the dad, feeling really sensitive about it, doesn't say anything, just kind of ends the meeting. The young man hears mom lie, because mom was trying to protect the child. And it just kind of hung the teacher out to dry. And later an incident happened in her classroom which led to her getting terminated. But then there's this whole backstory around this child who, hey, Julia, who's supposed to be perfect, but underneath the surface is not, and he's putting on this mask of perfection for everyone else, but internally he's collapsing and he's doing the best he can to survive because he feels at risk of being exposed, and then it's coming out in these really sociopathic kind of ways. And so it was just an interest, but then the teacher had some sociopathic tendencies too, and it even presented mom as having some issues, you know, potentially sociopathic, you know, and buying into the lying and everything. And then dad really being conflicted in supporting the young man or not. And so it's just an interesting movie. I would encourage you to go see it if it happens to be in theaters where you're at. It's called Luce, L-U-C-E. I think it's a good movie. It's a solid movie. And so I give it 2 thumbs up. But as my friend said, it probably needs to be seen more than once. But I always think the movies with the adoption commentary are very interesting. And so anyway, that's my perspective on Luce. And tomorrow I'm probably going to be talking. I'm going to talk to you guys about teens and trauma, and maybe do something a little specific to teens. I think I did a Facebook Live for teens not too long ago, but yeah, that's on my heart. So I'm going to probably do that for you guys. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to keep it short this evening. Just kind of relaxing and get myself ready to do a camp this weekend for some staff, some childcare staff, and so excited about that here in Eureka, California. And if you know an adopted family in California, especially in Northern California, that's at risk, that has a child in residential or is at risk of going to residential, please let them reach out to them and let them know that there's a program up here in Eureka and Crescent City that could be very beneficial for them. And they just have to reach out to me. They have to be adopted. Child has to be adopted from California, but they're offering wraparound services to families, adopted families who are struggling, and it's a really good opportunity to keep families intact. And so I'm excited to be up here supporting the agency. So if you know anyone, let me know. They can reach out to me directly, and I'll put them in touch with the right people. And so that's it, guys. Remember, in any given situation, we always have 2 choices. We can continue to react from the same patterns of stress and fear and overwhelm, or we can stop, we can slow down, take 3 to 10 deep breaths, and we can choose love. I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. God bless you. Big Papa loves you. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.